Hello. Hi, everyone. Hi.
Hi, Izzy.
Hello. Okay, well, so of course what's being suggested is that this is it. That this is all there is. So all there is being just simply what appears to be happening. A body sitting on a chair, breathing, listening, asking a question, whatever. It's just everything. It's just what appears to be happening. So there is nothing else. There is nothing deeper or underneath this or behind this or a source creating this. There's no before or after. There's no context to what appears to be happening. There's just quite simply what appears to be happening. And of course, it has absolutely no purpose or reason or agenda or cause or any of these things. No, it's just simply itself, one could say. But of course, what seems to also happen, one could say, or apparently happen in this, one could say, is there seems to be this so-called experience of me. That this is me, this is my life. I am sitting on the chair, I am the body, or I am in the body, or whatever. And I make decisions, I do this, I do that, whatever. And yeah, of course, that's fine. There's just a body then that seems to be saying, this is me. But of course, there is no one. There is no one in the body, there is no one outside of the body as awareness or impersonal emptiness or whatever. There just is no one. So what is just totally blindly and innocently itself, one could say. And this so-called illusion, let's say, to be someone, which of course never actually happened, just seems to totally collapse. Apparently collapse, can seem to just explode, one could say, into boundlessness. Of course, only then to be revealed, so to speak, that actually there never was this individual. There just isn't such a thing, and that all there is boundless energy, which is, of course, this. A body sitting on Zoom, an apparent body sitting on Zoom, is boundless energy already. So nothing can happen, nothing can fall away or collapse or die for this to become more of what it is. It's just already this. So, yeah, I mean, of course, there are no questions and there are no answers in this sense, in terms of there being some sort of deeper truth to understand. There is no such thing. So, but of course, questions are very welcome and we can have a chat or just say hello, whatever. Let's just see what happens.
Hi, Izzy.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. You say it's simply this, but I think this is not so simply. So I cannot grasp this.
Yeah, of course. It is totally ungraspable, yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, there is actually no one trying to grasp it.
Well, I tried a long time, but it didn't work. And my parents also told me to grasp, but it didn't work.
Yeah,
For a while.
Yeah, exactly. The so-called person will maybe follow methods or paths or techniques for a while and then give up or it won't work, like you say, or whatever, and then on to the next. This constant sort of trying to grasp anything through whatever it is, whatever. And of course it comes to this so-called message and uses the same technique, let's say, trying to grasp what's being said. But what's being said or what's being suggested is that what is totally ungraspable.
Yeah, but at the same time you say all there is this, and this is it.
Yeah.
But this cannot, you cannot have it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, yeah, this would be the hope of the person, so to speak, would be that I can have this, or I can have or grasp or hold what is being suggested. So I can have the freedom or the love or whatever it is. But yeah, of course, there's already no one trying to do this or doing this or apparently trying to grasp or whatever. And what's being suggested is just that there is nothing to grasp and no one who could or couldn't grasp.
Yes, I like it when you say it. So this is it. Because it makes me aware that in my system, I always subconsciously, I'm busy to look forward. So subconsciously, it's not that I want it, but and when you say it, this is all there is, it brings you more. Also, when you cannot have it, it's more relaxed. Okay, well, that was it. That's it for the moment.
Oh, thanks, Martin.
Thanks, too.
Hi, Izzy.
Hi, Berend.
I must ask you something about resonance. I'm now in the Zoom meeting with Izzy. And is that enough resonance, Izzy? Or do I have to explode in happiness? Some people do. Some people have a real resonance. But can you talk a little bit about the different resonances there can come up? I don't know.
Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, this word just seems to be quite a nice word to use because, of course, it's just totally indescribable. This sort of energetic sense of just yes or whatever, or just just that, yeah, of course, this is it, this just resonance. And it's just, as I say, it's totally indescribable. That just, there's just what appears to be happening. But yeah, of course, then the so-called person would, of course, turn such a thing into something. So that there has to be a resonance in order for this to be whatever understood or got, or this would always be the hope, I guess, that if there's a resonance, then there will be this death or whatever that Izzy speaks about. But of course, yeah, I mean, it's like, I guess, with a glimpse or whatever, the so-called person would try and sort of trigger these things, or expect this to be some magical explosion or whatever. But of course, what's being suggested is just totally ordinary. It's just already this. So it's just Izzy and Berend having a chat on Zoom. Is just what appears to be happening. There doesn't have to be an explosion of happiness or whatever.
For me, this is, with apparent Izzy, is more than enough.
Oh.
Yeah, it's beautiful, just beautiful to see you, to hear you, and I'm very glad that I found you.
Oh. Thank you, Berend.
Okay.
Lovely to see you.
Yes.
Okay, in the chat, the me seems to be dependent and needs something to adhere itself to. Well, of course, yeah, only apparently, yeah. There is no me, so this is just totally impossible to, I mean, it's just describing something that just quite simply isn't there. But yeah, this sense of needing to be dependent on something, or to have something to cling to, or to know, or to follow, whatever. Yeah, to this sort of sense, this addiction or whatever, this dependency, like you say. Yeah, of course, but this already seems to well, one could say come from this sense that I am here. And so then I am here, and then there is something that I could even be dependent on. Because of course, if there is this sense of there being someone in the first place, then there's already then something else that one could even be dependent on. So dependence actually is just impossible. There is no one who could be dependent on anything. This whole relationship between me and something else just doesn't exist. There's just what appears to be happening with no relationship or anything.
Hi, Izzy.
Hi, JP.
Hey, would you say that all questions come necessarily out of seeking?
Well, I mean, one could say so, yeah, but of course there's nothing wrong with this. So questions are just what appear to be happening, just as so-called seeking is just what appears to be happening. But when this whole sort of, I mean, yeah, of course, in this sense of perhaps like these deeper questions about life or whatever, what is this, or, you know, who am I? These sort of, what seems to be these kind of inquiry type questions. Yeah, of course, these just totally collapse with this sense of me just dies with these questions. I mean, these sense of there being a question, of course, is the sense of there being someone or something in the first place. But of course, questions just might arise, all ready for no one.
Yeah, yeah. It's not necessarily, there doesn't necessarily need to be someone trying to gain something
Yeah,
anymore with
exactly.
the question.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
it's not as sort of, there's just, I mean, in the person's so-called world, it would be questions mean seeking, which means person, which is bad, or whatever.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Or you shouldn't ask a question because it means something. It means you haven't got it or something
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I mean this word seeking as well. That is there any real seeking? Really?
Well, no, I mean, of course not, because there is no real anything.
Oh.
So this
Yeah.
so-called Zoom call is, of course, not real, but neither is it unreal. So, of course, then any seeking or so-called seeking or questions also is just neither real nor unreal.
Good to see you, Iz.
And you.
Hi, Izzy. Another time. I try it one more time. You say there is nobody. But when you traveling to Peking, for example, and I am traveling to Peking also, then I see you, I recognize you, and when we talk with each other, then I remember things. I know that it's you. So there must be a package, a body, remembrances, the whole package, as I also have a package, Berend's package. So I cannot understand that there is no one. Perhaps you can say something about this.
Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, like you say, the body or whatever, the apparent body is just what appears to be happening with all these natural functions, one could say. So walking, chatting to each other, remembering memories, having a conversation, going shopping, whatever, it just seems to be just the body just functioning as it does, is just what appears to be happening. So this sort of additional layer, which is of course artificial and never actually happened, is this sense that this is me, or this is happening to me, and I am in the body or controlling the body or witnessing the body or whatever. When actually there's just this so-called functioning body, this apparently functioning body, that just, I mean, just seems to just, like with the package of the body or whatever, just seems to be memories, emotions, thoughts. Yeah.
Belonging to this body.
Yeah, one could say just natural functioning of the body. Yeah, yeah. Just thoughts, feelings, sensations, whatever, hunger, tiredness, laughter, sadness, just everything. The body just seems to be functioning on its own.
It's not so satisfying, I must say. When we meet each other in Australia, this Izzy and all the memories, also the personal memories, what belongs to your package is also there. So it's in China there, and it's Australian there, and it's in England there. So there is something in this system what belongs to this system. So this is how I cannot see it. Of course, there's walking, there's eating, of course. But there are also very specific things belonging to body Izzy and body Berend and Leonardo and everyone.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course, in that sense, different characters, different bodies, whatever, just seem to have, yeah, like you say, a bunch of different memories, different histories, different preferences, whatever, different music tastes, hobbies. Is, yeah, just different bodies just seem to, let's say, have different conditioning, one could say. But yeah, that's just, again, just what appears to be happening. So there's just no one in that doing that, or choosing that, of course. But then there's just, I mean, there's no one who even doesn't have choice or does have choice. There's just the body, just apparently just doing whatever. Asking a question, responding, having a Zoom call, whatever. Yeah.
Okay, I think about it.
Thanks, Baron.
So would you say, Izzy, that the character is part of the body in that sense?
Well, I mean, I don't really tend to use this word character, but
Yeah.
I mean, the body, just whatever. I know people just could use the word character, just like Izzy or JP or whatever. But yeah, it's just, there's just a body that we call JP or Izzy, and it's just totally normal. I mean, what's being suggested is just, yeah, I mean, of course, I don't know, character, one could just say that so-called people have different characters in terms of different personalities. But there's just no sort of deeper, like, well, is the character the body, or is the body I mean, there's just no.
But there isn't. So can there be a character but no one there? There's no one in. I mean, there's no one in the body in that sense. There isn't anyone that's separate.
Yeah, of course, there is no one there.
and the character, but at the same time, it's like JP laughs a certain way, Izzy laughs a different way, Baron laughs another way. JP likes to watch Netflix. I don't know what you guys like doing. You know, I mean,
Izzy likes to watch a lot of Netflix.
Yeah, and you know, so they're okay, whether it's the word character or personality, but there's no one doing that. You know, it's just like you said, it's just what's apparently happening.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And there just seem to be all these different, like you say, different flavors or different personalities or whatever. So yeah, just different preferences. One person might like sports, the other person might like arts or whatever. It's just what appears to be happening. So yeah, of course, it's just totally boundlessly free already. So there's no one in that, of course, sort of tallying up the preferences or oh, this is my hobby and I really like this and that. No, it's just totally just the body just drawn to what it likes or whatever.
Yeah.
Which since I died just seems to be a lot more Netflix.
It's like Netflix without guilt.
Oh, don't. Yeah, well, I'll let you in on a secret. I don't think I left my room yesterday. I had a proper good Netflix binge, we could call it. Yeah, of course, there's just no one to feel guilty, so. Neek, what am I watching currently? Well, I actually yesterday it was on Netflix. It was called Ginny and Georgia, and probably watched maybe 15 episodes. So yeah, it was a good run. Binging Vikings at the moment. Nice. Yeah, I've heard of that, I think.
Izzy,
Hello.
hello, what did you do to die?
Oh. Well, I can give you the step-by-step guide. Oh, well, sorry.
Watching Netflix.
No. Well, yeah, I mean, of course, so this so-called death, of course, just doesn't even happen. So, of course, they're just, I mean, yeah, the person would live in the world, let's say, of cause and effect. So that this death did happen and that something must have caused it, whether it was suffering or inquiry or coming to Zoom meetings or whatever. But no, I mean, this sudden explosion or whatever, this total collapse, is just, of course, totally random in this sense. And I mean, that even can't be said because it just doesn't even happen.
Yeah. But it seems to happen. So that.
Well, of course, only apparently. So, I mean, this sudden collapse just, of course, with that, it's just revealed, so to speak, that there just was nothing that could collapse, or did die or could die or whatever.
For me, it looks obvious that there is nobody in the body. That is clear for a long time. But well, is that a kind of energetic dying that takes away, or that makes it possible to speak like you speak? That you can say there is no body in the body.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course. So I guess what's being suggested is just that this is just an energetic collapse, one could say, of what, I mean, whatever felt to be me, of course, just totally energetically just collapses or explodes or whatever. And then it's just, of course, not replaced by anything. So there just is nothing here, of course. And there is nothing then, there's just nothing that feels qualified to speak about this or that knows what it's speaking about.
That's a joke. That's a joke. But
yeah, exactly.
But as you say, there is a collapse. Is it a kind of complete relaxation or decramping? I'm not even aware that there is a cramp. But so when you have a baby in your hands, that feels like energetically like a ball. It's energetic a ball. it's completely wrong, round, and but maybe, yeah, well, it's completely open. Well, I don't have a question, but maybe you can say something more about this collapse.
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, this apparent collapse is just totally indescribable. It's just impossible to attempt to describe it. I mean, it's just indescribable. Like what is I mean, what is just totally indescribable. Me and you having a chat on Zoom just can't be described. And so, yeah, of course, before, so to speak, this apparent collapse, there seemed to be a lot of weird energetic sensations, one could say, that I was dying, or there was energy coming out of the chest or whatever, or the head, or all these sorts of things that all seemed very exciting and great. And then this whole, well, and scary or whatever, but then this whole game as well just then totally just collapsed. And that just can't be described, of course, because it's just death. So seen from the person, it's death. So of course it's just indescribable, and there's nothing or no one after that could then in hindsight be like, oh yeah, it was like this, and this is what will happen, you know, this, I mean, no, of course, there's just nothing happens, which is totally inconceivable.
Yeah, well, when I watch you and your colleagues, they seem to express a certain happiness and coolness.
Well,
yeah. So it must be something nice.
well, of course, I mean, what is just, it's just, there's just no experience. And so one could just say that this sense of heaviness or whatever seems to be this sense to be someone.
Yeah.
Life seems to be very serious, very whatever. And of course, this whole thing, this whole idea just totally collapses. And so then what is just, one could say, of course, is just naturally boundless freedom. And just, I mean, but it's everything. So of course there's happiness, but there's just boundless pain or boundless sadness as well.
Yeah. Okay. And not suffering.
Well, I mean, the body may, as I say, there's just all these emotions or whatever. But of course, this whole sort of thing of suffering seems to be this sort of, oh, poor me, you know, it's all me, it's my life, it's gone all wrong, and da-da-da. And yeah, so this sort of sense of suffering, of course not, no. But this doesn't, of course, there's still pain, and there's just, yeah, sadness, grief, whatever.
Okay, but well, this dying, that is completely random. Yeah, you cannot, it's completely random, so you cannot do, it's completely random.
Well, I mean, yeah, and randomer than random, because it actually doesn't even happen, so I mean, me would probably think, oh, okay, it's random, I'll just won't do anything and hope I win the lottery or whatever.
Yeah. This life is a complete gamble.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course, but there just is no gamble, because nothing has to or could happen. So there's just what appears to be happening, just Izzy and Martin having a chat on Zoom. There's just nothing can die in that or fall away.
Yeah. it seems simple as you speak it, but there is this slightest doubt that hangs on.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and of course there is no one in doubt. This sense of doubt is this sense to be someone.
Mm-hmm.
The person is doubt, one could say.
Okay.
That this is not quite it. I mean, that's energetically how it seems to feel for the person, is that this isn't it. It must be, must be the next meeting, or the
Maybe.
next glimpse, or the next death, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Which seems frustrating for the person, because on the one hand, like you say, it can just seem obvious that this is all there is, of course.
Yeah.
But energetically, for the person, like you say, subconsciously or whatever, energetically, it just still doesn't feel like this, is it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But of course, this isn't then, this so-called death, this isn't replaced by a feeling that this is it.
Okay. Yeah.
This whole idea of whether this is it or not just totally collapses.
Yeah. Okay. I calm down again.
Oh. Thanks, Martin.
Thanks.
Okay, in the chat. So the me tries to conceive something inconceivable because conception is all it knows. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. One could say so, yeah. Yeah, me is this sense of trying to understand, trying to conceive, trying to get a hold of, get a grip on, know, whatever, yeah. But what's being described is totally ungraspable, totally inconceivable, incomprehensible. Yeah. And this sense to try and conceive is not, like I say, it's not replaced then by, this sense of not being able to comprehend is never replaced, is never filled, if you like, by this finally comprehending it. No, what is totally incomprehensible. There's just this sense of someone trying to comprehend it can just suddenly just die. Or it's not there already, of course.
Hi, Izzy. Another
Baron.
time. Hi. To see other people being in their own Netflix movies is easier than to see my own Netflix movie where I'm in. And then always the problem is I start judging this or seeing in which movies people are, and I start laughing, but this is laughing out of hopelessness. Yeah. So I don't know, this is just what's coming now. So it's easier to see the movies when other people are coming than a movie in which I'm myself. Perhaps you can say something about this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course, when it's so cool, I mean, of course, there just is no other already. So this whole sort of thing of, I mean, there's no one to judge and no one who could do the judging or whatever. But yeah, of course, when there seems to be so-called me, then of course the so-called other, of course, isn't as important. Because the number one really, or the only one that seems important to me is me. And so of course it then seems, you know, oh, everyone else has it so easy, or whatever, you know, this sort of whole then thing, this whatever it is that comes out of that, then like you say, it always, I don't know, other people's drama is not as dramatic or whatever as mine, or yeah, of course, there's just a whole sense of the so-called person is this sense of specialness or importance, one could say. And yeah, I mean, of course, it's just there already is no one who is special or important. There's nothing that's more special, or there's no, this whole sort of hierarchy just doesn't exist. There's just what appears to be happening. So yeah, just a load of bodies just apparently walking around, whatever, chatting or not.
Can you, when you meet someone and you feel disgusted, yeah, is this your reaction, or is also that's what's happening?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. It's just what appears to be happening.
Okay, so I'm not responsible for my disgusting feelings about my neighbor. This asshole.
No, of course not. Of course not.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah, of course. I mean, the body just made, I mean, whatever, the so-called Baron or Izzy just might get on with different people, so-called people, better than others, whatever.
Yeah, that's obvious. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Baron. Okay, me seems to be outside of what is happening, as separate from it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, of course. Yeah. This seems to be the so-called illusion, is that I am separate from what is happening. The poor old me, yeah. There's the whole universe, and then there's me. Yeah. I mean, yeah, of course, there just isn't. So me would feel it lives in this very lonely world of just me. and the whole world, and there's what is, and then there's me. And I have to die or explode or fall away to become what is or whatever. I mean, it's, of course, it's just all very dramatic. The whole sort of me just seems to be this sense of drama. That this, if only I could become what is, then everything would be okay. Yeah, I mean, of course, this so-called sense to be separate, what is being suggested is that this is just the illusion, the apparent illusion that never actually happens. And there just quite simply is already just what appears to be happening. And there's no one separate from that, and no one who could be separate, and no one who could be fulfilled or whole. And there's just wholeness.
Is it the apparently not being replaced by anything at all? It's also not a question of insecurity, is it? It's free fall. It's just the unknown and what's apparently happening.
Yeah,
Could you put it that way? Would you put it that way?
well, yeah, I mean, there's just neither insecurity nor security. So yeah, of course, this whole, I mean, the so-called person would live perhaps in this world of insecurity or feeling insecure and trying to gain security. or whatever. I mean, yeah, and this seems to then be the hope, one could say, is with this so-called death would be the end of insecurity, and replaced by, yeah, as I say, security or whatever. But yeah, like you say, it's just not replaced by anything. So there's just wholeness already, including apparently feeling insecure. It's just wholeness.
Anything can happen.
Oh yeah, of
It's-
course, yeah.
It's not what the me imagined that. Yeah, I mean, it would be bulletproof, or that, or, or that,
Yeah,
you know.
exactly. I mean, yeah, of course, the person sort of has all these ideals of perfection or, yeah, security, peace, happiness, whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's just everything. There's just no lasting anything in this sense. Yeah, like you say, it's just what appears to be happening. Just, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Freedom, in a way, you could say. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course, just boundless freedom, yeah, but just totally inexperienced. And actually, really, even saying freedom kind of only makes sense from this so-called one that doesn't feel free.
Yeah.
There's not really such a thing as freedom. Because of course, this idea of freedom would only be able to exist for the one that doesn't feel free and then feels that freedom is even something.
Right. So it's unspeakable in that sense.
Oh, totally, yeah, just indescribable. Yeah, yeah. Just two bodies having a chat on Zoom is just totally, just is what it is, what appears to be happening, and it's just blindly and perfectly itself, and doesn't need to be spoken of, and just can't be spoken of in that sense. But of course, the speaking is just what appears to be happening, which is what can't be spoken of, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like there's no other thing that can't be spoken of.
And just because it can't be spoken of doesn't mean that there isn't any speaking.
Well, yeah, the apparent speaking is just what appears to be happening. So yeah, like I say, there's no sort of other holy place that is unspeakable. It's just that what appears to be happening is just totally indescribable. There's no one who could speak or nothing to speak about. So but speaking or talking or laughing is just what appears to be happening.
Thanks.
Thanks, JP. Okay, right, we've hit the hour, but that's fine. We'll just answer these few in the chat. Izzy, do you have life insurance? Well, no. Well, practically no, but yeah, no. Okay, the me is a very silent operator. It seems to creep in silently without being noticed. Well, I mean, of course, it's actually more silent than silent because there just isn't one. So yeah, one can't even say, oh, the me creeps in the back door and sort of there just is no one. There's just no me that is really loud or really, really quiet and subtle. There just is no me. So yeah, it's not even a good sort of detective or silent operator. No, it's just there just isn't one. Okay. So it's drama and story, but telling my ex the shit she did unconsciously yesterday sent heavy energy away from this body. It feels like I'm on a new page before I knew her. It is better than talking bullshit of propel just because there is no one. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, there's just, as you say, yeah, it's just the apparent person is this whole drama and story or whatever. Yeah. You did this to me, I did this to you, whatever. And there's just nothing wrong with this. This is just what appears to be happening, a body just doing whatever it does. There's just already no one in that doing that. And so, of course, with this so-called death, all of this sort of drama or whatever just seems to just collapse or just slowly fade or whatever. Okay, in the chat, what if only or a lot of bad things happen to someone? Well, I mean, it's just what appears to be happening, of course. So there's just what's being suggested is just there's just not a prescription like, oh, that shouldn't be happening or that should be happening or whatever. There's of course just no shoulds or shouldn'ts. So yeah, like just what appears to be happening is just everything. So-called person may have be quite unlucky or whatever, or have a lot of loss in their life or unfortunate illness or whatever. And it's just what appears to be happening. And there may be a lot of pain and grief and sadness with that, of course. Yeah, totally natural. Totally natural. So yeah, there's no sort of higher power that's punishing anything or anyone for their bad karma or whatever. I mean, yeah, this life is the good, the bad, and the ugly or whatever. And of course, this sort of so-called pain is already not experienced. It's just wholeness. It's just what it is, what appears to be happening. So, of course, me would think the pain is bad or the bad things are bad. And it just has to be good all the time and happy and peaceful and thoughtless and whatever. Okay, well, yeah, of course, like I say, this is it. So this is everything. Just sitting, an apparent body sitting on Zoom, apparently sitting on Zoom with Izzy for an hour or so is just what appears to be happening. It's not definitely happening and it's not definitely not happening. It's just what's apparently happening. It can't be confirmed either way. There's no one who could confirm it or deny it or whatever. And it's just naturally whole and complete. So yeah, there's not a meeting on Wednesday this week, but there probably will be one next weekend, next Saturday, but just check online and it will all be uploaded on there. But yeah, thank you very much for coming and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Okay.
Maybe watch some Netflix.
See you.
Beautiful.
Thanks, Izzy.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.